Greetings and welcome to the School of Symmetrical Healing. My name is Bennett, and I'm here to share a universal healing practice that you can use to heal yourself and your life, no matter who you are or what your circumstances might be. This practice is extremely versatile and extremely powerful because it works at a soul level. In symmetrical healing, the soul is considered to be the basic building block of existence. We call this basic building block the pattern of being. The pattern of being is a kind of universal template, a foundational cosmic blueprint that shapes every detail of the world within us and around us. Everything that exists, from the tiniest subatomic particle to the infinite expanse of the universe in its totality, is constructed according to this one simple pattern, and each thing that exists displays its own unique variation of this pattern. In other words, you have your own pattern of being, and so do I, and so does everyone and everything else. Your pattern of being is a living, multidimensional system which is continually changing, growing, and evolving without ever losing its fundamental symmetrical shape. Your pattern comprises everything that makes you, you, including your mind and your body, your spirit and your will, yourself and your reality, your heart, and the interactive process of existence that your heart initiates, mediates, and facilitates. By healing your pattern of being, you can heal everything about yourself and everything about your life. Today's channeled healing session is designed to help you, no matter who you are, no matter what you believe or don't believe, no matter where you are in your process of healing and evolution, and no matter what kinds of issues you find yourself facing. Before we get started, pause the video and find a quiet, comfortable place where you can lie down for the duration of the session. Once you're all settled in and ready to go, press play to begin. We'll start by setting our intention with an opening prayer. If you're uncomfortable with the idea of prayer, feel free to think of this as a simple declaration of intent. Loving pattern, loving process, loving being of the one true loving God. Please protect and surround us with your loving light. Please fill us with your loving light, and please guide us in healing our interactivity. Many of us assume that the world we live in is utterly indifferent to our presence, that life goes on with or without us, that our existence as individuals is not required in order for the universe to function as it is designed to function. We've been brought up to believe that reality proceeds independently of us, that we're little more than passengers on this journey, along for the ride, living cargo, random accidents, afterthoughts, blips in the cosmic ocean. But according to symmetry theory, this isn't the way that reality actually works. In symmetry theory, reality is seen to proceed interactively, reciprocally, and symmetrically, meaning that everything about reality mirrors everything else, from the microcosm to the macrocosm, and back again. This mirroring effect offsets each detail of reality against every other detail, creating a natural system of checks and balances that keeps the framework of reality intact. If reality fails to mirror itself in even the slightest detail, it begins to fall apart because its fundamental symmetrical framework is thrown out of whack. This causes it to lose some of its structural coherence. According to the symmetrical model, reality's very existence is therefore dependent on our existence, every bit as much as our existence is dependent on reality's existence. In other words, we literally do create our reality, every bit as much as we are created by it. In symmetry theory, this co-creative process unfolds as a function of awareness on the one hand and expression on the other. Awareness and expression go hand in hand. These two key faculties of existence mirror each other, interact with one another, and counterbalance one another. Awareness does not and cannot exist without expression, and expression does not and cannot exist without awareness, nor can either exist without a third key faculty, which we call interaction. This third faculty is the bridge and the catalyst that brings reality into existence as an ongoing process of interaction between the faculties of awareness and expression. According to symmetry theory, a reality that fails to become aware of itself, fails to interact with itself, or fails to express itself cannot logically exist. In today's session, we're going to explore the interactive process according to which every detail of existence unfolds. We call this interactive process the process of existence. The process of existence unfolds differently in different dimensions. In the outer, determinate dimension of the physical body, it unfolds physically. In the inner, indeterminate dimension of the dreaming mind, it unfolds dreamily or subconsciously. In the outer, indeterminate dimension of the emotional body, it unfolds emotionally. In the inner, determinate dimension of the conscious mind, it unfolds consciously. In the liminal, indeterminate dimension of the desiring heart, it unfolds as desire. In the liminal, determinate dimension of the loving heart, it unfolds as love. We'll start by tuning into the dimension of physicality, which is also called the physical body. This is the dimension of existence where we interact with ourselves and the world around us at a physical, material level. Physicality expresses itself through form as the actual shape of things in the outer world. Physicality becomes aware of itself through sensation, which is how we receive information about the actual shape of things in the outer world. Our sensory awareness affects the form of the physical world every bit as much as the form of the physical world affects our sensory awareness. As sensation shifts, changes, and evolves from moment to moment, this shifts the physical timeline that we're on, subtly altering the shape of the world all around us. The resulting changes tend to be so minuscule that we might not even catch on to the fact that we're continually moving from one physical timeline to another, altering the past, and by extension also shifting our trajectory into the future in subtle yet palpable ways. If you've been experiencing physical issues of any kind, recognize that your body knows exactly how to move in order to clear these issues. All you have to do is give your body permission to interact with itself and with the world around it at an unconditional level. By interacting with your sensory awareness and with the formal expression of this awareness at an unconditional level, you can heal the way that your physical reality manifests itself. Let's give this process of unconditional physical interaction a try right now. First, accept, embrace, and allow yourself to be fully present with all of the sensory input that you receive, whether this input happens to be pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. Next, give your physical body permission to move in whatever ways it would really like to move in reaction to this input. When you give your body permission to move in response to the sensory input that it's receiving, you'll find that your body wants to shiver, shake, stretch, wriggle, roll, gesture, reach, shrug, unwind, flail around, or move in any number of other surprising ways. As your body moves in response to the experience of unconditional sensory awareness, your sensory awareness will naturally begin to change. And as you tune into these changing sensations, your body's physical movements will change. Unconditional interaction frees your physical reality to shift, change, and evolve, bringing greater flexibility of outcome, which makes it easier to manifest the formal results that you truly desire to achieve in the material world. Pause the video now and take some time to explore this interactive process. Press play again when you're ready to resume. Next, let's tune into the dreaming mind, which sits opposite the physical body. The dreaming mind is also called the subconscious or unconscious mind. This is the dimension of existence where we interact with ourselves and the world around us at a vibrational and energetic level. The dimension of dream expresses itself through vibration. Vibration is the reciprocal opposite of form. Whereas form is the dimension that creates the actual shape of things in the material world, vibration is the dimension that creates the possible shape of things in the energetic world. This vibrational dimension is constructed from an infinite number of infinite fields, each containing an infinite number of possibilities. The dimension of dream receives awareness of itself as intuition. Intuition is the reciprocal opposite of sensation. Whereas sensation is attuned to the actual shape of things in the material world, intuition is attuned to the possible shape of things in the energetic world. Intuition can also show up as premonition, intuitive insight, fantasy, epiphany, and creative imagination. Our intuitive awareness affects the energy within us and around us every bit as much as the energy within us and around us affects our intuitive awareness. As intuition shifts, changes, and evolves, this also shifts the field of possibility that we find ourselves stepping into, altering the flow of energy through us and around us. The resulting changes tend to be so minuscule that we might not even catch on to the fact that we're continually moving from one field of possibility to another, changing the future, and by symmetrical extension, also changing the past, in subtle yet palpable ways. If you've been experiencing psychological issues of any kind, recognize that your subconscious mind knows exactly how to move in order to clear these issues. All you have to do is give your mind permission to interact with itself and with the world around it at an unconditional level. By interacting with your intuitive awareness and with the vibrational expression of this awareness at an unconditional level, you can heal the way that your energetic reality manifests itself. Let's give this process of unconditional energetic interaction a try right now. First, accept, embrace, and allow yourself to be fully present with all of the intuitive input that you receive, whether this input happens to be pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. Next, give your energy field permission to move in whatever ways it would really like to move in reaction to this input. As the energy moving through you and around you starts to flow more easily, you'll find that your vibration starts to feel freer, healthier, and more alive. Allow your physical body to facilitate this process by moving along with the shifting vibrations and with the shifting flow of energies. When you give your physical body permission to move in response to the intuitive and energetic input that it's receiving, you'll find that your body wants to shiver, shake, stretch, wriggle, roll, gesture, reach, shrug, unwind, flail around, or move in any number of other surprising ways. Unconditional interaction frees your dream reality to shift, change, and evolve, bringing greater clarity of intention and strength of vibration, along with the abundant energy and optimistic outlook that you need in order to conceive of and move toward the kind of future that you truly want. Pause the video now and take some time to explore this interactive process. Press play again when you're ready to resume. Next, let's tune into the dimension of emotion, which we call the emotional body. This is the dimension of existence where we interact with ourselves and the world around us at a spatial level. Emotion actually expresses itself as space. What we think of as space is really an endlessly unfolding field of possibility that gives us room to move in the outer world. Emotion receives awareness of itself as feeling. Feeling is how we receive information about the space of possibility that we find ourselves moving through in the outer world. Our feeling awareness affects the quality of the space within us and around us every bit as much as the quality of this space affects our feeling awareness. As feeling shifts, changes, and evolves, this also changes the space that we find ourselves in, altering the field of possibility. The resulting changes tend to be so minuscule that we might not even catch on to the fact that we're continually moving from one emotional space to another, changing the field of possibility in the immediate present moment, and by extension also shifting the network of timelines that we're currently navigating in subtle yet palpable ways. If you've been experiencing emotional issues of any kind, recognize that your body knows exactly how to move in order to clear these issues. All you have to do is give your emotional body permission to interact with itself and with the world around it at an unconditional level. By interacting with your feeling awareness and with the spatial expression of this awareness at an unconditional level, you can heal the way that your emotional reality navigates itself. Let's give this process of unconditional emotional interaction a try right now. First, accept, embrace, and allow yourself to be fully present with all of the feeling input that you receive, whether this input happens to be pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. Next, give your emotional body permission to move in whatever ways it would really like to move in reaction to this input. As your feelings start to move more freely, you'll find that the space of possibility within you and around you starts to palpably shift and change, clearing distortions and reversals in your outer reality. Allow your physical body to facilitate this process by moving in whatever way it wants to move, and by making nonverbal sounds, such as, for example, by sighing, grunting, groaning, crying, laughing, gasping, growling, and so forth. Nonverbal vocalization is the emotional body's primary mode of communication, together with facial expressions, shifts in body language, and involuntary physical movements such as trembling in fear or anger, tensing up in response to stress, bouncing up and down in excitement, and so forth. Unconditional interaction frees your emotional reality to shift, change, and evolve, opening up a greater spectrum of free will choice so that you have more room to navigate the space of possibility within you and around you in the immediate present moment, giving you the freedom to move in whatever direction you truly desire to go. Pause the video now and take some time to explore this interactive process. Press play again when you're ready to resume. Next, let's tune into the conscious mind, which sits opposite the emotional body. This is the dimension of existence where we interact with ourselves and the world around us at a temporal level. The conscious mind navigates reality by traveling back and forth through time at the speed of light. Because the conscious mind moves sequentially, it's able to track the sequential progression of events over time. Consciousness expresses itself as time, or more accurately, as an endless network of alternate causal effectual timelines. This temporal network is woven from the extrapolation of every direction in which we're actually capable of moving in the inner world of the mind, sort of like an endless choose your own adventure book. Time is the reciprocal opposite of space. Whereas space expresses the possible direction of things in the infinite field of locations that the body navigates in the outside world, time expresses the actual direction of things in the singular network of moments that the mind navigates. The dimension of consciousness receives awareness of itself as thought. Thought is how we receive information about the actual trajectory of things in the temporal world. Because thoughts always move in a sequential progression, we often refer to our process of conscious awareness as a thought process. Thought is the reciprocal opposite of feeling. Whereas feeling is attuned to the possible direction of things in the spatial field of the emotional body, thought is attuned to the actual direction of things in the temporal network of the conscious mind. Our thinking awareness affects the flow of time within us and around us, every bit as much as the flow of time affects our thinking awareness. As our thoughts shift, change, and evolve, this changes the network of timelines that we find ourselves traveling, altering the flow of time and the trajectory of fate. The resulting changes tend to be so minuscule that we might not even catch on to the fact that we're continually moving from one network of timelines to another, changing the omnipresent trajectory of our reality, and by symmetrical extension, also shifting the space of possibility that we find ourselves traveling through in the immediate present moment, in subtle yet palpable ways. If you've been experiencing cognitive issues of any kind, recognize that your mind knows exactly how to move in order to clear these issues. All you have to do is give your consciousness permission to interact with itself and with the world around it at an unconditional level. By interacting with your thinking awareness and with the temporal expression of this awareness at an unconditional level, you can heal the way that your conscious reality navigates itself. Let's give this process of unconditional conscious interaction a try right now. First, accept, embrace, and allow yourself to be fully present with all of the thinking input that you receive, whether this input happens to be pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. Next, give your conscious mind permission to move in whatever ways it would really like to move in reaction to this input. As your thoughts start to move more freely, you'll find that the network of timelines along which you're currently traveling starts to shift and change, freeing you to move in new directions along these timelines and altering the kinds of narratives that your conscious mind has access to. Because your conscious mind is a storyteller, more often than not, it will want to clear itself by physically speaking words out loud in order to directly communicate all of the information that it is currently in the process of gathering. The only problem with this approach is that human languages are not equipped to fully communicate all of the information that the conscious mind has to convey with the full breadth of scope, depth of meaning, and accuracy of detail that is required in order to bring your conscious mind back into a state of full alignment. In order to begin to heal, your consciousness is therefore going to have to invent new words to communicate this information spontaneously in the moment. These verbal expressions are likely to come out sounding like unrecognizable words, strange phrases and sentences strung together in a language that nobody has ever heard before. Your job here is to let go of control and simply allow your conscious mind to convey this information by any means necessary, whether this means babbling the information out like an infant, or making up complex words and syntax on the spot as if you were speaking in tongues, or downloading unfamiliar syllables and sentence structures as if you were communicating in a light language, or speaking in any other way that enables your conscious mind to communicate exactly what it has to communicate in order to clear what it needs to clear. Unconditional interaction frees your conscious reality to shift, change, and evolve, bringing greater speed, precision, maneuverability, and foresight as you navigate the network of fated timelines that your consciousness travels, and empowering you to zip back and forth along these timelines in whatever direction you truly desire to go. Pause the video now and take some time to explore this interactive process. Press play again when you're ready to resume. Next, let's tune into the dimension of desire, which we call the desiring heart. This is the dimension of existence where we seek balance by orienting ourselves toward the truth of what we really want. Desire expresses itself as balance. It does this by creating a polarized spectrum of potentials that presents us with every option that we might possibly move toward in every possible dimension and direction. Desire receives awareness of itself as attraction repulsion, Attraction and repulsion is how we receive information about the potential evolution of our existence in every possible dimension and direction. Desire is a liminal dimension. Love is also a liminal dimension. The word liminal means in between. The dimensions of desire and love are considered to be liminal dimensions because these are the dimensions of the heart. And the heart sits in between the mind and the body, and in between the individual and the collective. Our attractive repulsive awareness affects the balance of possibility within us and around us every bit as much as the balance of possibility affects our attractive repulsive awareness. As attraction and repulsion shifts, changes, and evolves, this also changes the balance of possibility within us and around us, altering the kinds of options that are available. The resulting changes tend to be so minuscule that we might not even catch on to the fact that we're continually moving from one spectrum of options to another, altering the ripple effect of desire that tells us what we really want, and by extension also shifting the still point of love that tells us who we really are, in subtle yet palpable ways. If you're currently experiencing a gap between what you truly want in your heart and what you feel able to ask for, reach for, aim for, or go for, recognize that your heart knows exactly how to move in order to clear these issues. All you have to do is give your desiring heart permission to interact with itself and with the world around it at an unconditional level. By interacting with your attractive repulsive awareness and with the balancing expression of this awareness at an unconditional level, you can heal the way that your heart's desire orients itself. Let's give this process of unconditional desire a try right now. First, accept, embrace, and allow yourself to be fully present with all of the attractive repulsive input that you receive, whether this input happens to be pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. Next, give your desiring heart permission to move in whatever ways it would really like to move in response to this input. As your attractions and repulsions start to move more freely, you'll find that the spectrum of polarity within you and around you starts to shift and change, freeing up the circulatory flow that ripples back and forth between the inner world of the mind and the outer world of the body, the dualistic world of the self and the non-dualistic world of reality as a whole. In your body, this circulatory flow shows up as your craniosacral system. Because your craniosacral system is a physical manifestation of this interdimensional circulatory flow, when the polarized field of possibility that links mind and body, self and reality begins to move, shift, and change, you're likely to find that your physical body wants to facilitate this by moving to free up the flow of energy along your spine, meaning that your whole spine, from the tip of your tailbone to the top of your skull, is likely to want to unwind and move. Unconditional interaction frees the reality of desire to shift, change, and evolve, expanding the spectrum of potentials that are available to us so that we're better able to orient toward the truth of what we really want with our whole heart and with our whole pattern of being. Pause the video now and take some time to explore this interactive process. Press play again when you're ready to resume. Next, let's tune into the loving heart, which sits opposite the desiring heart. This is the dimension of existence where we center and contain the process of existence itself by orienting ourselves toward the truth of who we really are. Love expresses itself as centeredness and containment. This expression produces a singular point of coherence that allows us to take stock of exactly who, what, when, and where we actually are, and exactly who, what, when, and where everything else actually is, in every dimension and direction at once. Centeredness and containment is the reciprocal opposite of balance. Whereas the desiring heart seeks to balance the possible evolution of things by producing an infinite spectrum of polarity in order to orient itself toward the truth of what it really wants, the loving heart seeks to center the actual evolution of things by pinning reality to a singular point of coherence in order to orient itself toward the truth of what it really is. As a side note, it's interesting to consider that hugging, which is a physical expression of love, involves two people wrapping their arms around one another to create a single, centered, and contained little bubble. The dimension of love receives awareness of itself as empathic resonance. Empathic resonance is how we receive information about the actual evolution of things in every actual dimension and direction. Empathic resonance is the reciprocal opposite of attraction repulsion. Whereas attraction repulsion is attuned to the truth of what the soul really wants, thereby orienting itself according to the world of polarized possibilities, empathic resonance is attuned to the truth of what the soul really is, thereby orienting itself according to the world of coherent actualities. Our empathic awareness affects the singular point of actuality within us and around us every bit as much as this point affects our empathic awareness. As empathic awareness shifts, changes, and evolves, this also changes the point of actuality within us and around us, altering the core truth of who we are at a soul level, without ever compromising the unique coherent structure of our pattern of being as a whole. The resulting changes tend to be so minuscule that we might not even catch on to the fact that we're continually moving from one evolution of self to another, shifting the still point of love that tells us who we really are and what our reality really is, and by symmetrical extension, also shifting the ripple effect of desire that tells us what we really want, in subtle yet palpable ways. If you've been experiencing a gap between what you know to be true in your heart and the way that things play out in your life on a day to day and moment to moment basis, recognize that your heart knows exactly how to move in order to clear these issues. All you have to do is give your loving heart permission to interact with itself and with the world around it at an unconditional level. By interacting with your empathic awareness and with the centering and containing expression of this awareness at an unconditional level, you can heal the way that love orients itself. Let's give this process of unconditional love a try right now. First, accept, embrace, and allow yourself to be fully present with all of the empathic input that you receive, whether this input happens to be pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. Next, give your loving heart permission to move in whatever ways it would really like to move in response to this input. As your empathic resonance starts to move more freely, you'll find that the coherent point of actuality within you and around you starts to palpably shift and change, freeing up the circulatory flow between your center and periphery. In your body, this circulatory flow shows up as your cardiovascular system, your respiratory system, your lymphatic system, and other circulatory flows. Because your cardiovascular and respiratory systems are physical manifestations of this interdimensional circulatory flow, when the point of actuality at your center and periphery begins to move, shift, and change, you're likely to find that your physical body wants to facilitate this by shifting its breathing patterns so that you experience yourself breathing more slowly or more quickly, more deeply or more shallowly, holding your breath, releasing it, gasping, coughing, yawning, crying, weeping, sobbing, and so forth. Unconditional interaction frees the reality of love to shift, change, and evolve, bringing pinpoint accuracy, immediacy, and certainty to our understanding of self and reality, so that we're better able to identify the precise center and periphery of our pattern in each new location and moment, in order to orient ourselves toward the truth of who we really are at a soul level. Pause the video now and take some time to explore this interactive process. Press play again when you're ready to resume. physicality and dream, emotion and consciousness, desire and love. These dimensions of interaction work together to form a beautiful symmetrical pattern that makes your process of interaction what it is, and which gives you the experience and conception of existence that you have. The more fully you're able to be present with each dimension of interaction, one at a time, and with all dimensions of interaction at the same time, the more your pattern is freed up to move, shift, change, and evolve toward its true potential. Take a few minutes to tune into and be present with the physical and emotional interactions of your body, the conscious and dreaming interactions of your mind, and the loving and desiring interactions of your heart, all at the same time, and allow these interactions to inform each other, to bleed into each other, to ping pong off each other. As you do this, notice any shifts or changes in the way that you feel overall. As your interactivity shifts and changes and moves and begins to free itself up, if you find that you want to move in order to facilitate this, give yourself permission to do so. If you need to sigh, or moan, or groan, or make any kind of sound, or stretch, or shiver, or if your fingers start twitching, or your neck needs to adjust itself, or your breathing patterns change, whatever your body, mind, and heart need to do in order to allow your interactivity to unwind and move and shift and change and free itself up. Pause the video now if you need more time to relax, let go, and allow your body to move in response to all of the physical, dreaming, emotional, conscious, desiring, and loving interactions that you're currently undergoing. Press play again when you're ready to close out the session. We'll end this session with a closing prayer. Loving pattern, loving process, loving being of the one true loving God, please protect and surround us with your loving light. Please fill us with your loving light. And please clean up and sort out anything and everything left over from this session. Put everything in its right place or places. Please balance us out in all of the ways that we need to be balanced out in order to heal safely, fully, freely, and unconditionally moving forward. And please, dear God, please be with us always and in all ways, unconditionally. Amen. Selah. Thank you. This concludes our channeled healing session. You might find that you need more time to rest before getting up, as these sessions can take quite a bit of work. Or you might find that you're feeling energized and ready to go. Either way, before you move on with your day, be sure to drink a nice big glass of water, as hydration is essential for healing. If you'd like to support the channel, please give this video a thumbs up, hype, share, subscribe, and tick the notification bell. If you have any comments, questions, or special requests, please drop them in the comments section. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, private coaching and healing sessions are available by phone. For more information about symmetrical healing, check out our other channel, which is called Symmetry Theory, as well as the books in the Symmetrical Healing series. Links to all of these resources can be found in the description. Until next time, happy healing, everyone.